Let's save up for the moment here. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Maybe it would have been nice to have a little bit more MP after all. Son of a gun. I don't have any fear scrolls. Definitely should have been a bit more careful in how everything was handled here, but that's fine. Oh, I took a bad step too. Most of our foxfires just immediately disappearing as Bios smites us out of existence. Oof, oof, oof. I mean, pretty solid start, you know, getting some of the jitters out of the way early on in the stream here this evening. I'm not sure where we want to go next. I could give Gargoyle another try. This one didn't really have the time to get off the ground rather. Man, that ring. Pretty solid on this character. Any other character would have been game defining, and I would be very upset to see it go. But hey, it is what it is. And Gargoyle, we did our best. I think we will jump in one more time here. And let's do Gargoyle Cinder Acolyte. However, do I want axes? Otherwise, we could go unarmed to get some free points, and unarmed early on, which would help in a potential transition to like shapeshifter forms. Or I'm thinking spear. Spears are just pretty solid for the additional attack using reach. And on top of that, is there cross-training with staves? I feel like there's cross-training with staves. There is indeed. So let's give this one a shot, shall we? Do all of our usual routine here, and this time around I think we can go a little more heavy-handed into our spellcasting, and we're gonna see how that fares early on here. Do a bit of experimenting, the scientific method here with Ignis, see if that doesn't help us fill out or form some kind of strategy for moving forward on these attempts. And there we go, Staff of Death. And I don't know if I'll swap to it immediately, but that is awfully tempting. Switch into heavy armor as soon as possible here, just to give us some defense as we wait to get a hold of our first set of spells, or our first singular spell, rather. Ooh, and a Ring of Fire as well. Well, you know what they say. You fall into a burning ring of fire. Guess it burns, and the flame goes higher. Maybe not quite as wisdom-packed as I was originally going for there in our delivery, but hey, it is what it is. And not too bad. We did hit level 2 in that little span there, so we will learn Scorch, have that available for us moving forward. We can only cast it twice, so, you know, learned it with a little bit of a caveat, taken with a grain of salt, as it were. But shouldn't be too big of an issue in the early dungeon. Generally don't have to rely on it regardless, so that is fine by me. 26 charge Wand of Flame, holy moly. Quite the boon there. And we're not talking about Lost Season 1. Semi-popular character? I know, I feel like everyone hates Sharon and liked Boone. If you haven't watched Lost, or at the very least haven't watched it in years, then none of this will make sense to you. Not missing out on too much with the Boone side of things. Lost itself, I guess was a big fan of. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm sure I'd still enjoy it today, even though it gets a little off the rails at times. But what did we get in that spell book? Fitted Cloud, Freezing Cloud. We've done work. We've done numbers with Freezing Cloud before. So that might do the trick. Again, we don't have to make that decision for a little while at the very least, so let us do just that and not worry about it. I think I might have tried to Scorch Sigmund while they weren't in range of our spells, but that's fine. Oh, it's so tempting, my man, just to try and fight you. And I'm glad that we did get 2 levels out of it. Holy moly. And we have a distant drain, so we are not unreasonably far, but also not too close. See if we can't find another message over on this side of the level. That might dictate our plan moving forward here. Very distant. It does indeed give us a bit of a clue. So, back over the other way. Anytime we see a rat, definitely want to at least check it out. We get shock, swiftness, and airstrike. Interesting. Let's see, I would guess that sewer is like just on the other side of this wall. Could be losing my mind though. Wouldn't be the first nor the last time that that's happened on the stream here. Hey Dr. Pirate, how's it going? Now officially reached the point where I will never replace or get rid of the Cult of the Lamb extension. How else will people contribute to our cult's totem, you know? Just doesn't make sense. But there we go, and actually as long as there's water in the sewer, this should be a very solid spot for us. Hello my slime friends, or rather my slug friends, I guess. I mean, granted, probably our little slimy too while we're at it, while we're calling out their traits here. Little bit of a toxic gargoyle, if I do say so myself, even though we're flinging fire magic. Still a bit toxic on the inside here. Not very mindful, not very cutesy, and definitely not very demure. And beautiful. Definitely loving the additional damage that the steam is granting us. That is a lifesaver here. And fantastic. I mean, one of my favorite sewers I've seen in a long time, if largely due to the fact that it's all very weak, easy to defeat enemies. Waiting for that to be thrown in our face. I guess if we didn't have poison resistance, maybe the adders would be a bit much for us. And on the same token, or on a similar token, I wouldn't expect things to be too tough, I guess, on a sewer that's found this early on in the game, but you know how it is. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. Contamination. Oof. Because we already have electricity and poison resistance, this ring rather essentially becomes a protection ring with contamination on it. So I really want to put it on because I want that additional armor class, but I think it's going to be no dice for us here this evening. Not quite fitting the bill of acceptable options at the moment. Oof. Terrence. +4 heavy flail. Okay, do you know what that actually gives us some perspective onto the entire encounter here? I'm tempted to try and fight you again. Guess we could blink out if things go bad, but I should probably just leave, for being honest. 77% chance to hit you. Probably rather do my scorching. And again, I probably should start thinking about learning our way towards something else. Guess we can check out our skills overall to see how feasible that is. So, slowly but surely getting up there, right? I will play it a little bit on the safe side though. We're gonna just pop the heck out of there for now. And I guess we could keep going down. Leave the rest of D3 for the moment here. Well, let's actually Quiver Scorch. Seeing as how we will likely be using it pretty prolifically for all the next, or at least all the upcoming encounters in the short term. And that is beautiful. Now, oh, I was about to say, now we just want another magic spellbook that we got, and on top of that, it has some fire magic in it, which is definitely up our alley here. So let's pop up this way. We can learn Flame Wave. We are a ways from getting it online. But let's start training some Conjuration. Let's start training some fire magic. It's too bad that we're a bit behind, because I was hoping that we could access that to defeat our Null friends here, seeing as how some good old AoE would seem appropriate for dealing with them, but I guess all is well for the moment here. We have 44 health. I mean, it's not terrible for just working to deal with our Orc Priest friend. And in fact, that does not go too poorly whatsoever, so very glad we decided to take the fight against our better instincts, or at the very least against the instincts that our previous mistake and end of round should have imparted on us in some meaningful capacity. You know, death being the ultimate mistake, a very final one at the very least. Some silver javelins, shmishma, and some gloves. Don't mind if I do. Hand was getting a little chilly, or hands were getting a little chilly, rather. It's tough being a gargoyle with bad circulation. You know, people don't really think twice about the circulative systems of my stone-skinned brethren, but here we are, representation for us all. And not too shabby here. Let's suddenly grab a sip of the drink as we continue making our way downwards, one step at a time. Beautiful. Flame Wave on track to becoming castable. Shouldn't be too much longer before our Flame Wave is fully operational. Beautiful. Got excited by the spellbook, but it's looking to be one that we've already discovered, or at least know all the spells of, so not ideal, but it is what it is. I should have been saving my magic. Didn't really need it to deal with old baby orcs, but Ogre, on the other hand, would be nice to be able to just deal with you in one spell. And I guess by spell I mean session. The session meaning, rather than act of magical operations. But regardless, do get through those Sons of Guns, which is fantastic. I'm going to switch up into Ringmail as well. Ooh. Another magic book could once again give me some impetus, some direction here. Never mind, it's necromancy. Screw you two, game. Again, one day we shall dip our toes into the depths that necromancy provides, but it is not this day. Oh, Crimson Imp, I did not even see you, if I'm being honest. Do not mean it in an offensive way, more of a honest feedback kind of direction. Yikes. This son of a gun is going to be a pain in the rear to deal with, but Wand of Acid, thank you. Ring of the Hair plus 10 EV. We'll definitely throw that in at the moment, and fire does just fine against an Ice Imp. So that is much more our speed, much more up our alley than the Flame Imp that we were previously trying to chase down. No idea where they ended up. I'm sure they're exploring the world somewhere. Excuse me. Hoping I'm not getting sick at all. It's going to be a busy week here. And on top of that, I'm finally returning to my friend group's D&D campaign. next weekend. So I definitely want to be in pretty good shape health-wise for that, especially since I have a lot of prep to do as well over the week. I know it's been so long since I was an actual player of D&D, but sometimes, as much as I adore DMing and would like to continue doing it in more and more different groups and different adventures moving forward, I can definitely appreciate the simplicity of being a player character. And you know, I'd still put an inordinate amount of time into coming up with my backstory, doing fun little like flavor tweaks to the way that my character and their abilities are presented, but doesn't quite land on the same level of severity, I guess, with the workload required as DMing itself. But regardless of my probably obvious observations, what do we want to do for skills? Spellcasting going back on, pretty straightforward. I think we'd like to do that regardless. Flame Wave is still just a smidgen off, so I think we'll actually train some more conjurations for that. I guess conjurations at the very least gets us in line for Freezing Cloud, Mephitic Cloud. So if we decide to go that direction, we are setting ourselves up for it. Excuse me, if I could get rid of these butterflies. You know, don't try and stab myself, please and thank you. Oh, Jeremiah, you basically counter us. Those butterflies are a huge pain in the rear. I guess let's try to get some Wand of Acid on you, my friend. And I would like your trident. That much I can definitely hold out hope for. Beautiful, and let's grab that of Vampiric Trident. Yeah, that's pretty dang sweet. Orb of Energy. Something interesting to be said for that, but not likely to be a good option. And maybe I do train just a bit of polearms, at least try and get it up to attacking more than once per turn, because +4 Vampiric Trident is wild for this early on. That is perfect. Oh me, oh my. See if I can survive our way through this in any matter whatsoever when I am on the verge of falling asleep at the wheel here. Fortunately, I'm still pretty elbow deep in the renovation projects. I say unfortunately, I do enjoy doing that kind of hands-on, you know, handiwork, but does leave me with pretty taxing days overall, and I'm ready to pass out as soon as I get my list of things I wanted to finish in a day completed. Vankar, you do not stand a momentary chance, my friend, unfortunately. That is the beauty of fire magic, of course. Anything that's vulnerable to fire will likely be going down in short order. Seems obvious, for sure, but still potentially worth commenting on. Level 10, beautiful. And have I found anything yet? No, lair entrance could show up as early as this floor here today. Hi, Maggie. Oh me, oh my. Wand of Acid, 75% chance to hit. Come on. Oh, jeez. Well, closer than I would have liked. Let's see, AC goes up by 4. Encumbrance rating doesn't go up too much overall here, so I'm going to take this son of a gun. We're at 1 in 8% failure chance. If I swap up 1 in 11? That's not too bad. The poison resistance, of course, being a little bit redundant for us here, but still nice to have on overall here. A little bit more natural defense. Can't go wrong with that. Beautiful. Oh my. Maybe I shouldn't have brought any attention to my yawning, because now I feel like it's just having an absolute field day. Ooh. Ring of Willpower. We don't really need protection from the cold all the time. A bit more useful to have willpower on by default, but we shall see what the future holds for us. Well, unfortunately, I think I'm in a bad spot for this. Oh my gosh, and Erica? Hello there, friends. Sure, I'll just take one of you upstairs. How about that? Reset this real quick if we can. Beautiful. And very distant portcullis, eh? Oh, whoops daisies. Need to beat the Manticore before we can pick up that money. That money. Tons of money. It's a rich man's world. Yeah. And perfect. This seems to be our lair entrance, if I had to guess. Erica. Not exactly who we were hoping to run into. And there we go. Using that vampiric brand, things actually go fairly well with Death Yak pack. Or not a Death Yak pack, a regular Yak pack. Let's not be ridiculous. At the very least, we are able to out-heal on our own, so that is fantastic. Oh, a two-headed ogre. Why does your mom let you have two heads? Not even a little bit fair, but we definitely just get the heck out of Dodge, head back this direction. Hopefully we're actually closer. Portcullis nearby, so we are close. Interesting. Well, let's check to see. No entrance down this way, so potentially need to take the long way home. Take the long way home. All those super fans out there. Yikes. It was never this way. Now we're back up to distant, eh? It wouldn't be this. This looks kind of like it. Oh gosh, this is potentially going to be the portcullis here. How about that? I am bad at navigation, I guess, for lack of a better phrasing. And definitely just take care of all of these kiddos. Beautiful. Gotta love that vampiric brand.